What's up, traders? Matt from the Trade Brigade here doing a technical analysis on ticker symbol GOOGL for Alphabet Inc., of course, or just better known as Google. On the left-hand side, we have the daily time frame, and on the right-hand side, the 30-minute intraday time frame. First things first, I need to let you know they gave us an earnings announcement after the bell today, so let's flip on the extended hour session here and see what's going on with the number. And would you look at that? Just a thing of beauty, absolutely smashing the earnings number, as well as probably going to issue some positive guidance here into 2022. That's really been rewarded in this current market condition. As long as you can provide forward guidance that's looking good, then again, your stock's probably going to benefit. So very, very likely we'll open on some sort of gap up for tomorrow's session. So we of course want to know where the overnight high is. We want to know where the anticipated opening print is, and we also want to know where today's high of day was. So we're going to turn that back off, and we're going to focus on the daily in terms of, scenarios for tomorrow. Now, what I want to point out is, we are gapping up into this known area of resistance. The market's been, fairly bought up over the past couple of days. It would just lead me to believe that, again, scenario number one that we're always watching out for, the gap and trap, could be a viable option here, even though the gap is so large. Again, I'm just thinking about coming into this area of resistance on a earnings gap up. Market conditions have been, fairly positive over the past couple of days. Maybe it's time for some cooling off. Again, a little bit speculative here, but we're going to have clear frameworks to use, which is the beauty of trading these gap up sort of setups. So to me, it's got to be this, right? If we open here, fail to take out the overnight high and find new buyers there, then we're looking for shorts back down through the open to start to fill the gap. Now, because the gap is so large, I would probably advise that we look for a half gap as the first reasonable target instead of just expecting the entire thing to fill all in one go here. And I also like, if my eyeballs are looking fairly calibrated, there we go. I mean, it's coinciding perfectly with this prior lower high as well. From here to here, it's half gap, right? So to me, that makes a perfect downside target on the failure to take out the overnight high, short back down through the open. First target's here at 28.46, 28.50 roughly, if you like the nice round number. Certainly is a valid setup and one that I would be watching into tomorrow's session. Now, the flip side of this coin is the bullish scenario, the one I'm sure a lot more people want to be hearing about, which is the gap and go. So if we open here and can consolidate, again, I'm not saying that this can't happen either. I would just sort of tend to think that gapping into this resistance may lead to a little bit of a pushback. Regardless, the bull scenario, the gap and go, looks something like this, accepting at these higher prices. Anything that breaks the overnight high does start to take us higher. Again, the reason I would be a little bit more skeptical of this type of trade is just because we have all of this overhead resistance literally right off to our left. We're opening. The overnight high currently is this pivot high. There's another resistance just barely a little ways over that. So it is going to be a bumpy ride if it's going to be a move higher, unless the volume just blasts right through. In that instance, I'm probably not looking to trade that too aggressively to the upside. I don't want to be chasing this massive gap up, and then eventually if it does decide to turn around, people decide to book profits, I don't want to be on the wrong side of that as it starts coming back down to potentially do the half gap fill, right? So that's how I'm thinking about this. If you do decide to trade it long tomorrow, please use a stop loss. I would hate to see any gains that you have evaporate, or even worse, a winning trade turn into a loser because we have all of this overhead resistance ahead of us. So with that being said, that's going to wrap up Google. If you enjoyed the video today or learned anything new, let me know in the comments section or by giving the video a thumbs up. Don't forget our main channel is linked in the description. And all of that being said, I wish you a green trading week.